My name is Kenny Quintana. I'm about to turn 18, and what brought me to Loma Linda was I was in a traumatic car accident on October 26th last year. I was T-boned by another car going about 50, and I had multiple fractures and a torn aorta, and so I was airlifted to Loma Linda.
Horrible accident, comes in critically ill, we would say definitely critically ill. I would consider his injuries to be life-threatening. Now, the aorta is the blood vessel that carries blood from the heart into the rest of the body. Every time the heart was beating or pumping pressure against this damaged blood vessel, the risk was that this tear was enlarging. Then the bleeding is so massive that there's not enough blood to deliver blood to the rest of the body, then that's when a patient could die.
I didn't wake up in the hospital till about 2 weeks later, because they had me in an induced coma for the surgeries I was going through and the pain. I didn't know I was in a car accident, so waking up was kind of scary that 2 weeks could go by and I knew nothing of anything that happened. I had 6 surgeries. I had the aorta one first, and then they had one for my bones, my tibia fibia, on my bottom half of my right leg, and then my femur on my left side. My pelvis shattered on both sides completely. But so I have 3 6-inch screws in my pelvis, and then a metal rod going through my femur, and then a whole rod going through the bottom half of my leg with 4 screws too. I was non-weight bearing for about 3.5 months. And so a month of that was in the hospital, and then about 2.5 afterwards. When I went home, I was strongly goal driven in the hospital. So my physical therapist, Vudi, I knew when he walked in the door, yes, this is my ticket out of here. Even though I love the nurses and doctors, it's still the hospital. It's not your life, and so I wanted to be back to it. And so I knew, okay, help me learn. Like, we gotta get this on, get this going. I'm ready for it. Then I started on a walker to crutches to one crutch to a cane, and then now I have nothing.
He just put his whole heart and soul into rehab, into doing PT and participating. He hardly ever complained, you know. He was just such a really great kid.
Now I'm actually back to wakeboarding. I do wakeboarding now. I do roller skating, ice skating, everything I could do before, I can do now. I'm glad to be back. Loma Linda definitely has doctors and nurses that care. They're really nice to you. They treat you as if you're their own son, which was nice. I loved all the nurses and doctors. They'd greet me as if I was their first patient every day. Even if I was their last patient of the day, they were ready to go home. They'd still greet me, "Hi, Caden, how's your day?" with a smile on their face. And it was really nice that they care about you as an individual.